What's up guys, and welcome to the May edition of the Squishy Times. Now you're probably watching this and wondering, why are you wearing an Udi right now? Well, technically this isn't an Udi because Udi doesn't make this particular Miffy design, but I am wearing it because down here in the southern hemisphere we're about to hit winter, and I feel like winter has come a little bit early, so I thought it was about time to crank out this little Udi. But before I continue, did you know that like 80% of you are still not subscribed? If you guys want to stay up to date with all of our fun shenanigans, I would highly recommend that you guys just destroy that subscribe button and hit the bell so you can stay up to date with all the fun and content that we do here. Now, to kick off today's news video, I thought I might just do a little recap of DreamHack Melbourne, the event that I went to at the end of April. I did create a vlog on DreamHack, which you can check out on the channel as well. But overall, it was an interesting time. There was a couple of things that I wish were done a little bit better, things in relation to sponsors and certain people that were at the event, and I suppose just the way that they managed everything as well. It was my first time going to DreamHack, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like the event at its current state knows what it is. I mean, it is a mix of a lot of cool stuff, but from what I can tell, it's an event that just has had multiple things being stacked into it, and there is no real focus, which is okay, but at the same time, you really got to think and weigh out the pros and cons. Is that sort of event for you? It definitely feels more like a content creator networking event that's slapped in with a bunch of esports, and it is a bit of an interesting thing to think about, seeing as the very early days of DreamHack was solely LAN gaming and esports, and then now you've got like the cosplay, the artist alley, and so there's all sorts of things that are making up a very interesting sort of pop culture event. But I'm wondering, is it still what they intended it to be when it was first created? I do feel like personally I would have got more out of it if I was an official creator at the event, and not only that, but I think it would have been better if I had more of the Squishyverse team there with me. But it was a good learning experience going to Melbourne by myself, essentially. I did go with Philmeister Gaming as well, so we both got the same flight there, but I think from what I'm trying to say now, you can sort of understand where I'm coming from. And it's also an interesting thing to experience content creators in person over a weekend. Like for a lot of you people who watch these people, whether it be through TikTok or Reels or live streams on Twitch, it definitely is a different experience being with them over a weekend. It's interesting as well to see sort of a battle of egos in a way. And as someone that's a little bit more introverted, it is probably not the best experience. I'm sure they can improve on the event over time, especially with, as I mentioned before, sponsors and other specific things that sort of dragged the overall event down. But at the end of the day, I think it's an event that you'll get more out of if you plan accordingly. Don't get me wrong, it was a great experience. I just don't know if at this point in time it was fully for me. Or maybe that's just a lack of planning on my part. Maybe I needed to plan just a little bit more what I wanted to get out of the event. So that's something for me to think about for next time if I do decide to go to DreamHack again, or maybe I'll just be checking out other events. I mean, that's what I want to be doing more of now on this channel, is just checking out different vibes, checking out different events, seeing what is a better sort of thing to be covering on this channel. And of course, it's always been a passion of mine to bring you guys on adventures, you know, wacky odysseys and stuff like that, because I do want to be building up this world of fun where everyone can sort of come along and enjoy the ride. Now, if you've been enjoying my gaming content, as you know, we do have a gaming YouTube channel, which happens to have shortened down versions of me playing random games, and the most recent one was Supermarket Simulator. So if you like Supermarket Simulator or simulation games in general, and of course, if you want to see how someone with 15 or almost 15 years experience as a retail worker handles the game, please do check out that video. For some reason, it didn't get as much views as the My Singing Monsters video, but I do also highly recommend that you check out that one. Now, I just want to talk about the streaming hiatus that has happened over the past few weeks or so, maybe even a month at this point. I've just been taking a break from streaming because of life getting in the way and a bunch of other things going on. I did go to DreamHack, and then there was just a whole bunch of things that were happening, and I've been working a lot more as well, working long nights, so there hasn't been much of a chance to stream these days. So I just wanted to announce in this news video that we will hopefully be getting back to streams soon. So come on guys, hype it up, hype it up.
Do you have a schedule? Okay. Joshy, your schedule says you're on vacation and will return in 5 years. Why? I was like, what's the latest date I can put on this? What? Like, you can't do that, dude. I mean, like, I guess people are going to see that that's a troll. Hopefully. That's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. The return in 5 years is like, it's almost obviously that it's a troll.
So just after my birthday, around the middle of June, we're going to have a special anniversary stream celebrating 4 years of this community. Can you believe it? I feel like we were only recently just celebrating the 3rd year, but we're already up to that point where we're at the 4th year. Yeah, wow. So please do mark in your diaries, the 15th of June will be our Squishyversary, 4 years of the Squishyverse. There's going to be a bunch of cool stuff happening. It's going to be a charity stream. And of course, we're doing the push-up challenge again in June. So basically 50% of any donations, whether it be bits or gifted subs or just a straight up donation, 50% of that will go towards Headspace, which is the charity we're supporting during the push-up challenge. And the other 50%, of course, goes to ongoing stream costs as well as preparing that fantastic stream for you guys. You're not being forced to support, but they are really good causes. So if you would like to contribute towards that, please do consider it. And if you do, thank you in advance. And we're going to be doing the usual sort of thing. We're going to have a little bit of a time capsule looking back to where this all began, and we're going to have some announcement times. We're potentially going to be looking at a new Awkward Convos single. As with the previous Squishyversaries, we decorated a cake in the past and some cupcakes. Now we're thinking of doing cookies, and not just any cookies, frog-shaped cookies, because you know how much we like frogs here. And of course, if you end up donating or sending some bits or gifted subs, you'll potentially get your name on one of those cookies. And then we'll feed it to Angeline, so you get some ASMR in there as well. And yeah, I'm just going to try and make this one as exciting as possible. We're probably going to be doing some Lego building, reacting to some of my old songs that some of you may not have heard, which could be fun. And of course, we may have some community games as well, if time allows it, where everyone will be able to have some fun. Maybe with something like Jackbox, so everyone gets a bit of an opportunity to join. But yeah, that's going to be the gist of the Squishyversary coming up. So please, as I said, mark that down in your diaries, calendars, 15th of June. That's a Saturday, Friday for people up in the Northern Hemisphere. Please, it's going to be fun. We're all going to have fun together and celebrate 4 years of this lovely community. And yeah, that's about it for Squishy Joshy news. As for Awkward Convos news, I just want to remind you guys that we are currently working on a new album, a mini album, just like Floxenosine Hilipilification. This one's called A Pocket in Time. I announced it on Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, what are you waiting for? Because a lot more behind the scenes stuff may get posted onto there and not necessarily posted onto YouTube. So if you want to see more of the behind the scenes stuff, please do check out the Instagram. Healy Olsen returns again as our mixing, mastering, producing audio engineer, and he's been really helpful in helping me get the best results out of these songs, especially vocally as well. We're getting some good vocal takes in, and I'm just hoping that this next record will be as successful, if not more, than Floxenosine and Hilipilification, because that one was my most successful thing to date. So it will be interesting to see where we go with A Pocket in Time. Also, while you do wait for the new record, please continue to stream Astronomical. It is a song that is just super fun, and I'd love to see it get the love that you've been showing towards some of the other songs as well. Now, in other news, the iPad Pro 11 was announced, as well as the Apple Pen Pro, both of which look amazing. The new iPad flexes the new M4 chip, which to a lot of people who have reviewed it so far say that it is overkill for such a simple device that is the iPad. But at the same time, you're going to be super future-proof if you do get it. But I do think it is targeted towards specific types of people. Funnily enough, I'm that type of people. But right now it is out of my budget, sadly. But it would be great to have at some point. I might if I do ever get one, I would like to set it up as a third monitor here to help improve streams, and also maybe even get into drawing a bit more. I've always liked drawing ever since I was a kid, and I would like to do more drawing, and I think it would just be a lot easier to do that on an iPad Pro. That's just my opinion anyways, because I do want to get into more digital drawing rather than just doing doodles in books. If you see any of my notebooks, it's literally just me practicing tags and graffiti, which is something that I've sort of been just doing since high school. There was no real reason as to why I started doing it, but I do like the whole idea of having customized typography in a way where you're stylizing someone's name or something of great significance in the context of graffiti. It was just something that was cool to me as an artist growing up. So that might be something that I look at doing in the future. I'd love to be able to create some graffiti art and stuff for you guys as sort of like a side thing, but I don't know when I'd be able to get into that. So we'll just park that thought for now. Another thing I want to share with you guys is we have the Osmo Pocket 3. This is not a sponsored video, but it is a fantastic device. You should definitely get one if you do not have one. It just makes your whole vlogging experience so much easier. See that? It closes up by itself and then you just put it back in its little protective case. And on top of the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, I got the wireless mic 2, which is a cool little case that it comes with, charger case and 2 mics and a receiver. Hopefully we'll get to use that soon and just give you guys a little bit of a test of how those sound. We might even hook up Angeline and Trix during the Squishyversary to use the wireless mics while I use this one, so it could be a little fun experiment. However, that's everything for tech that I want to cover. I want to go into some music now. Lisa from Blackpink, my favorite K-pop artist, was spotted at the Formula One Grand Prix in Miami, and there's been some fantastic photos of her there, even footage of her waving the flag, which was really cool. And of course, here is a photo of her with Max Verstappen, who cost me my bet back when he was doing the Grand Prix in Sydney. I will never forget that. I will never forget it. Let's not dwell on that for much longer. I've also pre-ordered the Baldur's Gate soundtrack on vinyl. This thing looks amazing. Like I said earlier, we're on hiatus with our streams, but we have been streaming Baldur's Gate 3 with some of the community, and we are hoping to get back into it as soon as possible. Another song by Pond was dropped, one of my favorite Aussie bands, who also happen to be performing at Vivid Sydney soon. They are actually performing at Vivid Sydney the night before the Squishyversary, so it's going to be an action-packed weekend. It also just happens to be close to my birthday as well, so that's a pretty good way to celebrate, I guess. Another album you should check out is Beth Gibbons' Lives Outgrown. It's a bit of a folky and also Pink Floydian kind of vibe. I would highly recommend it. The production on it is really good. There isn't really any sort of high energy tracks, which is what I usually listen to, but I do like a bit of well done, well produced, almost soundtracky kind of music as well. Just something to really excite the musical taste buds, as some people might put it. Bring Me the Horizon, one of the most popular metalcore bands right now, have released Post-Human Next Gen. It is a mix of everything you'd expect from Bring Me the Horizon, so definitely some heavy screaming tracks. Not for everyone, but there are a lot of cool musical ideas there. And it also has sprinkles of J-pop and J-rock influences. I guess if you like Stellar Blade or just anime in general, you will probably find something interesting on this record. And of course, one of my favorite bands, the duo 21 Pilots, have released their album Clancy, and they actually did something really cool, which is something a lot more bands are doing nowadays, but I think they put a lot more effort into this one, and it is basically they've just done a music video for every song on the record, and it's a quite lengthy album as well. There's about 13 songs, so just imagine a full production crew, almost a full production crew for every video, 13 videos for every song. That's incredible. That is insane. I mean, I've been trying to do something similar with my music. It's just we don't have the budget like 21 Pilots does. But yeah, some really cool stuff there. A lot of the songs will take a while to get used to. It is a return to form for them for the most part. I mean, most of the record is just banger after banger, especially from the start. The first 3 songs just hit so hard. When Backslide came out as a single, I didn't enjoy it at first, and this is exactly what I was saying, but now it's in my head. Yeah, definitely go check that one out. I even bought, they were doing some like special digital version of the album, which you can just spend like $4 on, and you get a chance to meet them in person, like a meet and greet. And they've got all these like cool behind the scenes photos and just stuff that kind of interests me as a graphic designer, even like draft lyrics and how they write it on paper. Yeah, just a bit of an insight into their whole creative process. I mean, it's totally a different experience when you're a huge artists like they are. I'm sure they do everything first before even thinking of teasing anything from the album. I mean, especially if they're doing a music video for every song, they would have just had to go and just film everything first, knowing that they were going to do, a video for every song. And before even releasing the first single, I'm sure that they would have had to spend a lot of time just working on that. So you should definitely check it out. If there's one song I'd recommend off it, it's Next Semester. It has a really cool 2000s vibe, which reminds me of a lot of older songs I listened to when I was growing up. Apart from that, I did mention anime before when I was talking about Bring Me the Horizon, and I've been watching some anime recently. I've finally finished Spy X Family Season 2, and it will be great to see the movie at some point. And I've also started Season 4 of Demon Slayer, which is also a great anime. I think people in the anime community are kind of finding overbearing at the moment. I mean, for the most part, it's just like 3 main characters just screaming at each other and somehow surviving the most fatal blows. But at the same time, it is fun watching it. And if you're sort of a casual anime appreciator, I think it would be one of the better series for you to watch. Anyways, I don't want this video to drag on too much longer. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Squishy Times, and I hope you got something out of it. I hope you learned something new, maybe something you weren't aware of. And if you do want to see more of my content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what your favorite piece of news was down below in the comments, because we want to be creating some engagement here and getting this video out to other people who also may be interested in hearing about this sort of stuff as well. Anyways, it's going to be it from me for today. On either side of my head, you'll be able to check out some of the other videos that we've done here on this channel or on my other channels, and feel free to check them out. This is Squishy Joshi, signing off.